All right, before we get into the review of the SC Elite V5, I just got to tell you a little something about Element. We've been using it now for, I don't know, over a year. It's how we get all our electrolytes. I usually use it the night before a race. I use it in preparation for the race. Any hot days, anything like that, I am definitely getting those electrolytes in, and I'm using Element. It's a little salty tasting at the beginning, but believe me, you get addicted to the flavors. And speaking of flavors, they've got a brand new flavor. It's lemonade, and I don't know how they didn't already have this flavor, but it turns out it's now my favorite Element flavor. It used to be watermelon. Now I'm all about the lemonade. I'm already thinking of ways that I can mix it with other things to spice it up. It's a great flavor added to the lineup of Element products that we use here. So if you want to get a free sample, go to drinkelement.com/believe and try it out for yourself. Hi, this is Thomas with Believe in the Run.
This is Meaghan with Believe in the Run.
Today, Meaghan, what do we have in our hands?
The New Balance SC Elite V5.
Which not only like a lot of these speed shoes we test, but we don't have for marathon necessarily. This one we just finished a marathon in.
Yeah, good old London.
This is an update to a shoe that we felt was like one of the most versatile race day shoe choices for people. I don't know that everybody who loved the V4 is going to be thrilled with some of the changes in the V5.
So we've got the previous version of this shoe here. This happens to be the New York City colorway, which I like. You have other feelings about.
I mean, they had so many good colorways that this one was like one of my least favorites.
But you can see that they updated quite a bit on the upper here. I think what I noticed most was this tongue and the collar and heel fit.
Look at this. No pillow. Nice pillow.
So it's a lot more comfortable. This tongue is now gusted. The tongue in the previous shoe was like a flimsy piece of felt or something. I did not like it. But so this is a lovely upgrade. It's gusted, it's comfortable.
It feels finished. Like the other one felt like an added in piece. This one actually feels like it's integrated into the design. It works with the fit, and we're gonna talk a little bit about this mesh upper.
Yeah, so it's a one-piece mesh upper here. Pretty nice and breathable. Like Thomas mentioned, we ran a full marathon in this guy, and I didn't have any issues with my feet feeling too warm.
I'm gonna tell you, this is probably one of the best fitting uppers on a race day shoe. Some people are gonna poo-poo it because it's got a little more comfort features than we're used to seeing in a race day shoe with this padded heel counter, with this softer tongue. Everything kind of works together. This upper could work on a daily trainer, but it works really well as a race day upper too. And as far as fit and comfort, I don't think you can beat it.
Yeah, it's really nice. I agree with everything you said. And it is still pretty nice and light. So it works as a race day upper, but I can see how it also feels kind of like a daily trainer upper.
Well, here's the first reason I think that people are gonna have, if people are gonna have an issue coming from the 4 to the 5, is you can kind of see just how much wider that upper looks. And then you're gonna also see as you get down to the bottom, you're gonna see it cuts in more. So this shoe is definitely more shaped, more streamlined. And I think with that, some of the people that were getting away with wide feet in the V4 may not find this shoe as accommodating.
Yeah, so this overall platform of this shoe is 25% less than the previous version. So you got a little bit less foam in the forefoot, so you're now 40-32 for an 8mm drop, so you lost some foam under the forefoot. And then also, just in general, the width of this shoe and the amount of foam that was underneath the foot is a lot less.
The last version was a 4mm, but what I think you get in this, it has a new plate like tuned that gets a little more of a push off that toe. You get a little more of that spring action coming off the toe. And I thought I was gonna be like, we're missing foam out of there. I'm losing it because I really like foam under the pad of my foot. This had plenty of foam under the foot, and you get that new sensation of kind of like a little more punch off the toe than the previous version, where I felt like this one's really good for someone who can lock into a pace and cruise. This one has that little bit of extra oomph off the toe that I've been looking for in the shoe.
Yeah, so that plate in the forefoot is quite a bit stiffer, which is that propulsive feeling you were kind of talking about. And I agree with you, this shoe just feels so much more like a race day shoe versus what I was personally using. The previous version was for all my long runs because it was super comfortable. It felt great, but it didn't feel snappy. This shoe is, because it's so much smaller, basically everywhere, it just feels a lot more nimble and a lot more like a race day shoe.
Like a dart.
Yeah.
So Meg, let's get down to this midsole. Is FuelCell.
Yeah, so the same stuff that we had in the previous version, 100% PEBA, but what has been updated is the rubber on the outsole. You can see just in the design itself, it almost has like mini lugs to it, if you will.
It does.
And so I found that this feels a lot more grippy, and especially when we were running through water stops at the London Marathon, I feel like the traction was really good.
This rubber is an upgrade compared to the other one. I just feel like it has more of a tacky sensation than the other one had. Whereas this one, when you're going through like the water stop, I thought it was fine, but this one I actually felt the bite. What I was really surprised about, Meg, was how my feet felt towards the end. Like, yeah, maybe a little discomfort through the later miles, but really, as far as I can't think of a marathon shoe where I'm not going to have a little discomfort after being in the shoe for 3 hours, you know?
Yeah, in fact, that was probably my number one concern going into the London Marathon was I was thinking that we were going to have less foam underfoot and I just wasn't going to love the last few miles of the marathon. Turns out my feet were the last thing I was thinking about, so they felt fine to me throughout. I think this is plenty of foam and cushioning underfoot, so no issues with that.
So Meaghan, we have a colorway that we're showing here that is not available to the public. This colorway that I happen to like and got quite accustomed to. What do you think of it?
I hate it.
Really, don't
Straight up.
Don't sugarcoat it.
I was embarrassed to be wearing these at the London Marathon.
Are you kidding?
No, they kind of grew on me, but I'm like, it looks like they dipped it in some black paint and then like this is fugly up here. So your previous men's 10.5 came in at 9.35 ounces. What are we looking at now?
7.9. That's a substantial
amount.
weight loss. And it is noticeable, like just holding these two shoes in your hand, you're like, holy cow, this really did weigh a lot for a race day shoe. I really liked it. I would use it again.
Yeah, I think I would too. I mean, I'm not going to put this colorway back on ever, but if I get a new pair, absolutely.
I think they might be coming out with one that you'll like.
All right, so let's get into form, fit, and function. Form out of 5, what are you giving it?
I mean, I like most of the things about it. They dropped an ounce, which is under our form. So I'm going to give this a solid 4.
Okay, I'm going to give it a 3, and that's mostly a lot of aesthetics here. The design is not for me. I preferred the look of the previous version quite a bit. I kind of like this geometric stuff going on, all the shapes.
It's still here.
It's reduced quite a bit, which I understand. They're getting rid of material and weight. But yeah, I'm giving it a 3. Okay, fit out of 5.
Out of 5, I'm going to give this a 5. It's one of the best fitting race day shoes I think that's out there.
I'm going to give it a 4 just because I think I really liked the accommodating fit of the previous one. It was a little bit wider in the platform. This one was fine and it did fit more like a true racer, so kind of snug and hugged your foot, but I preferred the previous one, so I'm going to give it a 4.
All right, so function, that's where this one kind of can be interpreted. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm also going 4 out of 5. I feel like this is definitely an improvement towards race day for New Balance. Like we've been saying throughout this entire review, the previous version was a great shoe. It just didn't feel like a race day shoe because it was heavier, because of its wide platform. So they've really trimmed down the shoe to a point where it feels a lot more like a race day shoe.
Yeah, I still think they could do a little work shedding weight on this shoe. I'm really happy that it's over an ounce off, but you still, like, we're seeing the shoes that are coming out and now sub 8 for a size 10.5, that's kind of like starting ground.
Yeah. Yeah, now they've got shoes 4 ounces for your size. So we're in a new land of weight these days.
Yeah, but as far as New Balance goes and race days, this is a huge improvement for their brand. Like, I think about all the race day shoes they've had. This is definitely the best. All right, so final score, Meg.
This one is getting an 11 out of 15 for me.
And for me, it's a 13,
All right.
which is a lot better than an 11.
Yeah, so if you want to pick up one of these guys, it'll be available this summer and it'll be $250.
Yeah. Also, if you want to know why I got some stuff on my face here, you can listen to the Drop podcast and find out I passed out on a plane and hit my face against the wall. So check that out. We also have Instagram and other ways that you can stay in touch with the brand. And of course, you can always subscribe here, tell your friends, send the link, watch all the videos, right?
Yeah, do it all.
And like I said, we have the Drop podcast, Fuel for the Soul. Anything else I'm missing?
Those are the 2 podcasts.
Those are the 2 podcasts. And then Robbie's weekly email letter, which you want to subscribe to. You can go to believeintherun.com to see all our reviews and subscribe to the newsletter there. You'll get a nice little pop-up. What you get when you get the newsletter is a weekly countdown or showdown or
Roundup.
showcase. Roundup is the word I'm looking for, of all the reviews, everything that we're doing that week, and all the videos, all the written reviews, and a little note from Robbie that most people find entertaining.